Hello everyone, welcome to the spring update video for Mercenary Operator Wolves. I have a lot of features this time around to show. I noticed in the last few times that I made this video, I actually forgot about a lot of features, so I have them written down. I'm just going to go off of the list that I've written down, so let's get started. Starting with armor. This is a new thing I have. So now in the game there is armor. You can see it in the bottom of the screen here. There's an armor value. It'll always be set to 100, I'm thinking, probably. That might change in the future, but that's the current plan. How it works currently is you have different levels of armor, level 3A, level 3, and level 4. I didn't include other levels of armor like level 2, for instance, just because it's so little, it wouldn't make much of a difference. But right now, just for testing, I have level 2A equipped, and I have it set up so I can shoot myself to show off this armor. So if I fire there, you'll notice health did go down, but the armor is what went down the most. So how I made it work is the damage you take is 20% of the total damage, and then the armor takes 50% of the damage if the damage is within the threshold of what it can stop. So for instance, as I said, the player is currently wearing 3A body armor, so it stops a pistol round, but if I am to be shot with, say, a 5.56, you will see that both armor and health went down by about 30, and that's because that's the damage that the M4 does, and I made it so that if the bullet penetrates, it'll do full damage, both to your armor and to your health. I might change that in the future, we'll see, but that's how it works for now. And if the armor is broken and you still have health, I'm not going to show this because it would end up killing me and then I'd have to load back into the game, and I don't want to do that. But if it is broken, you will take full damage, but you wouldn't really be able to tell because I'd be dead here anyway. So the next thing is just kind of on the back end. I'll kind of go quickly through this one. I just did a lot of optimization, refactoring a lot of scripts, and I also moved to the new input system. This is probably a bit hard to tell in video. If you compare how I'm moving and the camera and all that to the previous videos, it's a lot smoother, I noticed, with the new input system because of how I coded it now. And also along these lines, I removed Cinemachine, which was a camera package I was using, which I actually didn't really like. I've just switched to using the default camera. I still have the ability to zoom in and out, but I just got rid of Cinemachine because I didn't really like some of it. Next is there's bullet dispersion or accuracy. So if you look at where the bullets are going, you'll see they're not all firing in a straight line. They're actually a little bit inaccurate. I may increase how accurate they are because right now I think they're a bit too inaccurate, but that is something for a different time. And the more you shoot in a burst, the more inaccurate it's going to be. So if you do a mag dump, you're going to be all over the place. But that's different based on the weight of the gun. Although I don't have them implemented, LMGs would suffer from this less, of course, because they're a lot heavier. Next is, of course, I have a menu. You've already kind of seen this because that's how I started the game. Was in the main menu, but yeah, got a main menu, of course, have a pause menu, and I have the ability to save and load. Then the next thing I have is, I call it the magazines and munitions. So what I've done is I've replaced the old magazine and ammo system. So prior to this, all the guns literally just used an integer, a number. And that was their ammo and that was their magazines. It was all just a number, but now I have it so that every single bullet and every single magazine is its own object, which of course is a little bit more memory intensive, but it works way better because, let me show this. There you go. If you notice, some of these rounds are coming out as bright red. That's because now, with this new system, you could load in, for example, like every other round being a hollow point, or every fourth round being a tracer, or the last 4 rounds in your magazine are tracers, stuff like that. And that is how I currently have it set up for testing, is the last 4 rounds are tracers, which I will demonstrate now. So that's that. I like how that turned out. Next, I am going to try to force this, so I might have to fast forward a bit. I should have increased this for testing, but what I have now is malfunctions. So the guns can malfunction. but it's a really, really low chance. I think it's like 0.01. It increases in probability on how much you fire, but let's just see. Let's see if I can make this malfunction. Okay, so I actually ended up going back into the Unity editor to just quickly modify it because that was going to take way too long otherwise to get a malfunction. So as you can see now, there is up on the screen malfunction because the gun is malfunctioned. So to clear a malfunction, you just got to press the reload key. Pretty much malfunctions take precedence over reloads. So if the gun's malfunctioning, when you press reload, it'll clear the jam. And then if you press reload again, of course, it'll actually reload you. So and then it is all good to fire again. And now I'll go back to the actual game to show off the rest of the stuff. Okay, so next up here I have realistic burst fire. I didn't know this beforehand, but I found out that guns with burst fire, if you fire one round when you're on a burst mode, it won't reset it until you fire off all three. So, in this now I have it so that if you fire one, and then you hold down the trigger again, it'll only fire off the remaining two because it's a 3-round burst on this gun. Next is the rig. I kind of set it up so that the arms actually follow the gun, which it did not previously. If you look closely, you can see they kind of jump. I do need to smooth it out, but the basics work for switching shoulders and just looking somewhat believable. In terms of sprites, I've finished the AK-12 and the Kar98k sprites. I didn't even intend to make a Kar98k, but it was just like a little side project I made one day, and then I just went ahead and did the whole thing. And I'm planning on implementing both of those guns, but that'll come after the kill house is made, because I should be focusing on doing that. A few more things. I've made new map sprites. You can see there's a road now. I've got plywood walls down here, which will be used in the kill house demo. And I have an M35A2, or a deuce-and-a-half truck. And I have kind of just like a blurry rendition of ground. Thinking that'll just be a placeholder, but we'll see. It doesn't look too bad. And then I also have purchased a tree asset off the asset store, which looks pretty good. So, that does it for this update video for Mercenary Operator Wolves for the spring of 2020. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.